I think it's a great opportunity, and I'm being privileged to be at Chase Summit 2019 and to address my fellow guardians of talents. When I say guardians of talent, I really mean it, and you will get to know why I said that. For 2,400 years ago, a famous Greek philosopher, and also known as the father of modern philosophy, Aristotle said, for the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. You will agree? I think it's a valid quote, it's valid up to date, even been after 2,400 years. We have come across many people who act without thinking. I have seen many. And also, we have come across people who keep thinking without acting. In the era that we are living today, ladies and gentlemen, we have to act while thinking and think while we act. So, that's why we say the greatest or the richest valuable place on earth is what? Any wild guesses? What? It's a graveyard, ladies and gentlemen. It's a graveyard. If you really think through, all great minds are 6 feet down by now. So it is important that we deepen our understanding about the people we associate and to realize and recognize their capacity or the potential to grow our businesses. With that in mind, I'll ask you a question. Okay, by the way, this is the evolution that we have seen. And there's a missing piece there. I'll come to that. This is the question I'm going to ask you. And this is our problem statement. Can we operate according to all paradigms without creating an emotional investment to lead, motivate, and engage the 21st century workforce? What era we are in? We are in the fourth industrial revolution, where we talk about cyber-physical systems, Internet of Things, 3D printing, DNA modification, list goes and goes. So, as HR fraternity, as guardians of people and the talents, it's high time that we really answer this question. Because the guy who adds here currently is this. This is the guy we are working with. Because currently we are in a clash of ages. So Gen X is at the top, running the business. Most of our CEOs and MDs are at Gen X. Probably we have some outliers as well. That's how the world is changing. But the middle is the millennials, people like us. And our teammates are these crazy guys called Gen Z. They're crazy, right? They are our future. So it is a valuable topic and a question to ask from myself. Are we ready? Okay. So let's talk about it. The technology is advancing on a daily basis. As we speak, it's keep on advancing. And the workplace and the world of work, it's redefining, it's changing. What is important today will have less important tomorrow. So it's time for us to understand this changes happening in the world and how can we bring that together. Ensure that we have a mindset change to reform, regenerate our people capabilities for our own success. Because at the end of the day, as a HR guy, when I talk to my people, I always remember I have a responsibility of their well-being. Because at the end of the day, he can be an employee for me, but he or she is a father or a mother to a son or a daughter. So as HR, as people leaders, we have a responsibility, an extended responsibility to look after their families and their well-being. What happens if the new digital era or the machines start ruling this world and we get obsolete completely? Who to blame? And ladies and gentlemen, it's happening while we speak. It can be data of things. It can be data of you. It can happen just by clicking a button or allowing permission to an app that you use. Correct? The technology is growing fast. And AI, we talk about AI, machine learning, has evolved to another level called deep learning. Completely changing the paradigms. So, I'll ask a simple question. So what should come in as a priority? Is it the people strategy or is it the business strategy? Those who say people strategy, can you put your hand up, please? Business strategy? So we had people who didn't even raise their hands. That means they're still wondering or they don't believe in that. Correct. So why in the old paradigms we had we had a separate business strategy backed by a people strategy. Now we can't survive with that. Both are debatable. One school of thought can be is people come first at a priority. Then the business guy would say, no, how can people run an organization without having a business strategy? It's an eternal debate, like the nature versus nurture, or simply the chicken and egg situation. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, okay? Did you know what 18,250 days can do? So 18,250 days means almost 50 years, right? Who can remember this device? This device, ladies and gentlemen, had a 4 kbg RAM, 72 kb ROM, at a processing speed of 0.043 megahertz. What is this? එච්චර අඩු ස්පීඩ් එක දුවන මැෂින් එක. 50 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, this device put a man on the moon and made history to mankind. This is the Apollo guidance computer. After 50 years later, you have this in your pocket with 8 GB RAM and a 512 KB ROM and a 2,493 speed of processing speed. And that device, ladies and gentlemen, inside your pockets has brought world at your fingertips. Do you agree? We can't live without it, right? We can't even sleep without having the phone next to us. No? That's bad, by the way. So, all of you know this guy? Yours are small days. Wow, Anna AI. So first AI superhuman that we have seen maybe 2 decades ago was this not little, right? This gentleman called the Terminator. And we never thought, it'll come to a reality. But ladies and gentlemen, now it's a fact, it's a reality. We are living with machines. Machines are invading our space. It's going ahead of our edges. It's exceeding. So, we have a smart toothbrush. Who would think people these scientists are cuckoo? Because they built an AI-driven, AI-facilitated toothbrush where it can give you your brushing techniques and everything to an app. There's nice videos on YouTube. You can watch how this works. There was a saying, the famous saying, amongst married men, my wife knows everything, I don't need Google. And that's a fair statement, by the way. I'm also married. But then again, problem increases, complexity increases. Now she has a companion. Now she knows everything fast. How? Because of this lens, Alexa. Now Alexa and the wife get together, knows everything what I'm doing. No, that's not good for you. No? This is the studies have shown your cholesterol is this. No, you can't do this. Can't even do anything. That's voice recognition. And this one, this is already this is happening in world, right? Amazon is using robot delivery boys. Already in practice. And if you happen to be in New Zealand, you must be seeing drones flying around carrying pizza. It's happening. And you have driverless car in motion. And we have driverless trucks. In Nevada, US, it is happening. And also next time when you check into a restaurant in a different country, your order's being placed and order's being prepared by a robot to the right specification. And it will be tasteful. And the entire Amazon logistic, the pickers, are now bots. So what this all says, the organization enabling AI at an enterprise level, increasing operational efficiency, making faster, more informed decisions, and innovating new products and services. Every organization today wants to get on a competitive edge. They need efficiency, they need productivity, they want to excel, compete with the market. So they will choose machines to do certain things. So the dark truth is, machine can do things faster, better, and cheaper. The question for us to ask is, what is going to happen to our employees? What is going to happen to my job in future? Ladies and gentlemen, there is a probability that all mundane, routine, and repetitive tasks or jobs will get displaced or done by systems or smart machines. There's a study done by McKinsey. They're projecting 400 million to 800 million jobs from in this category will get displaced by automation. So what's the size of our workforce in Sri Lanka? We have, including public and private sector, everything. So according to census, we have around little over 8 million people. Yeah? This will affect us. Because companies will invest on these techniques. But then again, we need to survive, right? We have a question to ask. We need to survive. So how can we survive? That's a saying. Don't reinvent the wheel, right? But I would say, now it's time for us to reinvent the entire vehicle. We need to look at our system and processes, what we are doing right now, what we are using right now, and we need to retrain, reskill, and educate us, continue to educate ourselves to stay relevant, to ahead the game. Otherwise, your job and my job and your responsibility, the people that you are taking care of, will be at a risk. He's back. So let's look at the world we live in today. It's that constant disruption at an exponential pace. New business models, exponential technology advancement, agile ways of working, workforce and workplaces are changing, jobs are being reinvented. I think that was a fair question asked from that gentleman. We are in a gig economy. Yes, we are in a gig economy. So as if you heard this quote, the current Google CEO, Sundar Pichai, during one of his speeches, he said, we have now moved from mobile-first world to AI-first world. That's a very deadly statement. Though we are in a gig economy, the landscape is changing, but have we changed? We still do attrition analysis. We still try to understand why people leave. Instead of asking ourselves, how can we create a better environment for them? Is our environment conducive? Or do we have the same thinking that I used to have from my boss? Or expectations have changed, whether the expectations have changed. It's time to relook at everything, starting from the letter of appointment, to the training program, to your succession planning. It can be your 9-box matrix. Everything has to be relooked at, looking at the future. With the evolvement of technology, the medical industry or the healthcare industry will boom. What will happen as a result? People live longer. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Good thing, right? Bad thing for many organizations and many countries and many economies. Because, again, based on a research done by McKinsey, they project by 2030, there will be 300 million people over age 65 and above in this planet. So, can we put all them into like elders home or something like that? No, you can't. So then we'll have to look at things in a different angle. So then the healthcare industry, the different jobs will come into the market. Different jobs will create. So we need to be ready for that. We need to plan for it. We have to face it. There is no two words about it. But then again, we need to have a plan in place because we have a responsibility on our shoulders for our people. As HR fraternity, we have to think ahead. While we do our day-to-day work, we have a role to play looking at the future. If you read Deloitte Millennial Survey 2019, it's scary. It's scary. So things are changing. More jobs are being evolving, more organizations are evolving. If you look at in the gig economy, you can't have a person tied up for one job. He will do freelance, whether it's in appointment or not, he will do freelance on his own. So the our labor law should support that as well. So it's a collective try that we have to do. First, we need to embrace, yes, there's something like this happening. We need to face it. So how we are going to face it? We need to start thinking smart, thinking critically to understand the problems that will come before us in time to come. Ladies and gentlemen, robots are in at work. So US law firm, this is one of the famous US law firm, they have hired lawyer Ross to look after bankruptcy cases. AI guy. Who would think a lawyer's job gets redundant, no? And Saudi Arabia has already granted citizenship to Sophia. Now Sophia will have her kids also in time to come. We'll never know. And also, now the biggest threat when you are trying to do an interview, we have this thing called biasness or unconscious biasness. Now there's a solution. LinkedIn is using this, Nestle is using this. Many companies are already using this. And there's another bigger challenge, where now the leaders are thinking, how can I transform my knowledge to these millennials? I can understand their thinking and I have a bigger problem in translating my vision to them. Look here, Honeywell has already done that. They are using augmented reality to transfer knowledge or skills to millennials using AI. So this is another important question, ladies and gentlemen. We need to ask ourselves, what level of maturity in people do you want to achieve in your organization? Is it a fair question or not? Before we ask maturity in people, we need to ask ourselves, are we mature enough to answer this question? Are we still stuck in our own silos, our own version of thinking? I think all these gold. I believe that, I respect that. But the future is platinum in that case. We need to evolve. That's why I said we need to continue to retrain, reskill, re-educate, continually be alert. What's happening in the world and try to understand the tsunami pre-alerts before it strikes us. So the level of maturity that you can achieve in people is through engagement. If the systems are doing everything, what's left for us? There are qualities that robots or the AI or any system can copy. Love, care, empathy, teamwork, collaboration. Still, the system or the AI is not up to that speed. So we have our talents. We need to start building on it. That's our edge. That's our competitive edge. We need to start building on it. Because A high degree of maturity in people capabilities can reach through active involvement of employee. How can we do this? How do you know whether this guy has the potential? Learn by doing it. How can we do that? Can we do it at our workplace? Can't. We have to go out. So that the experiential learning is the key to understand or to deepen our understand about the people we work and to understand the true potential, that the hidden talent that this guy has, that will help me to grow my business without having his job to get redundant. So it's our duty. We have to spend more hours reading. We have to spend more hours understanding, so that that guy's true potential we can bring up to the table and build it. Then only we can answer that question. There's a study done using nearly 10,000 participants across 119 countries, covering multiple industries across different functions and job levels. Let's see what they have said. 86% people believe they must reinvent their ability to learn. That means, in other words, the current learning system is not so great. Even though we say, it's a wonderful training that we sent you all, what is the ROI that we can bring? So we need to relook at our training methods. 84% want to rethink their workforce experience again. That means their workforce experience is not great at all. But how come we pay them a premium, we provide all the facilities, and we provide everything, but still these guys want more? Are we giving them the right level of, based on their expectation, or are we just deciding the facts based on our experience? What is good for us may be not good for the guys that we are working with. They maybe want different things, but we think, this is great. Because the engagement survey question is done by HR. And before we run an engagement survey, we give them a salary increment. And we take them on a trip. We do various things so that our scores will be wow. And we say, our engagement score is 9. Hello? Yeah? Good. Sorry. Technology. So then we have a question to ask, because we need to create the employee engagement survey or anything involving the millennials or the Gen Z, the majority of the workforce, understanding what they want and create everything around that. Sometimes we may have to go and work with them or maybe learn from them as a mentee. There's a thing called reverse mentoring. The leader has to go and sit with a millennial or a Gen Z, now teach me your stuff. We have to be humble enough to go there. We can't live in our kingdom and say, this is how it should be done, because the world is changing. If we don't change, we will not exist. 80% believe they need to develop leaders differently. This is the answer. So we need to develop our leadership capabilities that will support to retain our employees. If you look at the retention of millennials and the Gen Z guys, it's limited to 3 years. Don't expect anyone to stay more than 3 or maybe have a lifetime job at your place. But then again, we need to have a mechanism to understand what the true potential from the day one, from the hiring stage, and have a development plan ready when he joins, so that we can take the maximum out of him during the time that he's staying, so that we get benefited and also he'll also get benefited. We don't have a luxury of having a learning curve or the honeymoon period, so-called the probation period. We don't give probation objectives, say, okay, fine, find your way out, okay, this is what it is. We don't have the luxury. 85% of employees around the world are not engaged or actively disengaged from their jobs. Talk to your heart. Are you satisfied? We use our internet to look for jobs. Rank gattama, we have top jobs. Search, right? So we need to ask a question, there's something wrong. Now we need to find that out. And 50% of their employees would have an easier time finding a job within a new employer than within. So that means they don't trust our system. They don't see a growth in your organization. They don't see internal mobility is done in a fair and square manner. So we need to relook at the entire vehicle, from the recruitment to retention. And when we talk about retention, now the new way you need to look at different ways of retaining things. If you can't retain the employees, if your attrition says your attrition is high, what can you do about it? You can retain their knowledge. Talk about knowledge repositories, knowledge retention plans. That's the next thing, because we've been proactive. How many of you play chess here? I know Ruan is playing. How many of you play chess? It's a brilliant game, right? I think you probably know Go then. It's a little bit advanced, somewhat similar to chess. In Google, they develop AlphaGo. Use a bit of deep learning and AI. They use a system called AlphaGo. And the AlphaGo start competing with this world-famous chess player or Go player, and he beat him. That's natural. So machine wins. Next, or maybe after a couple of years, they did little bit of more deep learning on the AlphaGo and create AlphaGo 0, the next version. And they put AlphaGo 0 in competition with AlphaGo. What happened? AlphaGo lost 100-0. So what that means, this AI is now in the space of thinking. They can think and do things. So then what can we do? So next critical task for a leader I quit. Because next difficult task for a leader is I quit. Yeah, there's a fundamental saying in our old days, no? People don't leave jobs, they leave. Huh? Come on. Leave? Boss. They're boss, right? So, is it right? How many of you disagree to that? No, I'm a great boss. I look after my people. They leave because somebody else start poaching me. I have a friend like that. So, the reason why these people leave organization is not because of their boss. Number one reason why people quit their jobs is the inability to opportunities to learn and grow. Now you need to go back to your organization and understand, have I created that environment for my people to learn and grow, or they do what I ask them to do? That's a famous quote from Alvin Toffler, famous futurist in our days. That's write many books in this area. He said the illiterate of 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, relearn, on the run to survive the new normal of volatile and changing world. When you say volatile, have you heard this word called VUCA? So there's an interesting session coming up, so I won't touch base on that. But then again, the things are changing. Jobs are getting volatile, the environment gets volatile. So we need to continue to unlearn what you learned yesterday and start relearning so that we can be ahead of the curve. As guardians of people, we have to take that burden. I don't like to read, but no choice, I have to read. I don't like to talk to people. Sorry, you are in the wrong industry then. You need to start talking to people. I like to boss in my seat, but no, you have to go to the floor, talk to people, observe what they are doing, and make plans. So, in summary, there are a few leadership competencies that we need to look out for in order to survive in this 21st century. One is embrace ambiguity and uncertainty. We need to face it. We need to embrace it. Yes, there is a problem, but I will find a solution because I have a trust in my people and I will fight for it. I will learn. I will bring that additional knowledge so that I will make my team a wonderful team, a future-ready team. We need to shift from hierarchies to teams. Hierarchy is irrelevant now. Now people talk about flat structure. So from the boss mindset, we have to shift to a leader mindset. Leader, go in front, guide the team. And the power is being a part of the team. Not watching outside and say, this is the way to do. No, this is the way to do. No, we can't boss people now. And also, we need to support individuals to identify and develop needed skills for future. What are these needed skills? If we are to want to compete with machines and systems, we need to start creating, enhancing our natural skills. As human beings, as Homo sapiens, we have two things. We have a flight mode, we have a fight mode. That is why this experiential learning is critical. Normally we don't fight. By the one hand, we face. Ganda sir. Papua denna sir. But we are all naturally we want to compete. That's why we survive in the jungle. Now we are in the modern world. But that is in our DNA. So this in competition, when you put people into an environment that they compete, a safe environment that they compete, so we can spot, he has that skill. He is an informal leader. He has this trait. I have never seen him speaking, but now he's wow. To understand, you need to take your team out and have that thorough training. Experiential learning. It can be adventure-based. It can be any experiential learning because people love to be in competition. It's in our DNA. We need to move from employee experience to human experience. Now, there is no work-life balance. Do you agree? We have work-life integration. We can't balance work-life, right? We go home and work, right? Still. At work, we do some homework. We do that, right? So can I go to the bank and come? Yes, go. So it's integrated. Yeah? And we need to build a culture that supports continuous learning. If the CEO is not believing in learning and development, or if they think, no, we know everything, we are the market leader, that's a scary place to work. I feel, being HR, but then again thinking out loud, I think the whole 3&D, the talent management piece should not stay with HR, it should stay with the CEO. CEO should run it, because that's the future. If you don't train your people, if you don't develop your people as a priority, your business is in danger. You can't wash your hands and giving a budget saying that, okay, HR manage the budget, so this is what it is, this is my plan, I want to do this, ensure that people are geared up to do that, and give me results. It has to be driven by the CEO or the leader of the organization so that the people will feel the difference. And we need to lead into change. We need to understand change is the constant thing. Its change is constant. So we need to rebuild for future. We need to ask ourselves, instead of what and when, we need to ask ourselves how and why. How we collaborate and why we collaborate from us. And similarly, how we learn, why we learn. Communication, empathy, adaptability, and engage. How we engage and why we engage. Is it because I have an objective to ensure that employee, this thing is engagement score should be more than 80%? Is the tick box? No. We need to really understand why, how I'm going to communicate, how I'm going to engage, what is my audience that I'm engaging. So we need to, in order to understand this, ladies and gentlemen, we need to create an emotional investment. Spend some time to understand the real essence of people. There are no bad employees. There are no bad employees or bad managers. Everybody is good. We need to find that true talent. Every human born to this world has talent. He's being a sperm, he managed to swim out like 30 million of sperm and managed to get into and became a man or a woman. At birth itself, he was a winner. So you can't say they are bad. So we need to create their future so that it depends, our future is depending on them. Our existence is depending on them. And Sri Lanka has a great potential. Look at our literacy rate, 93.1. And our digital literacy, the people, even the small kids now know how to operate a mobile device or a laptop or a tab or whatever you call it. It's more than 40%. And we recently graduated to upper middle income country. Give a round of applause. Yeah, slightly up. But then again, there's a lot we can learn from the world. There's a lot we can do, guys. We build Sigiriya. We build Yodala. It's in our DNA. Engineering, critical understanding, it's in our DNA. Our ancestors did that. The concept, the unity, the harmony, the team, everything is in our DNA. Prasad DNA, we have closed them all. It's time for us to shake the system and try to understand and start rebuilding, reskilling, relearning. So because we have a huge tsunami coming at us and it's already in the world, so before it struck us, I'm going to build a strong wall so it will stop. It lies on you guys. But still there's a missing piece, right? But you must be wondering, this guy has been talking for the last 15 minutes. But nothing happening, no. But there's a missing piece. Any wild guesses? What is that missing piece? What's missing? What do we miss? I'll give you a kind of a clue. As the leadership paradigm shifts from independence to interdependence, from control to connection, from competition to collaboration, and from individual to group, we need to encourage a new breed of leaders who can respond effectively to such condition. Can you guess the missing piece? The missing piece is, ladies and gentlemen, collaboration and co-creation. If you collaborate with your people and involve them and co-create the future that you want to be in, you can survive. Your organization will survive. So we need to invest our time and our emotions to understand that and create a culture we collaborate. Instead of cooperate, we collaborate. Anybody can cooperate. But collaboration needs a bit of emotions. To get there, you have to earn it. You can't just go and do a speech and say, I'm a very collaborative manager. I like to work with you. Let's go for a drink in the evening. Okay, boss. Next day morning, what is the report? We need to relook at everything, guys. We are in a paradise, right? When it comes to intellectual knowledge, we are the greatest nation. And I'm proud to become a Sri Lankan. We have that. If you read up on our history, the gentleman was right. We have a history, the Peter Black. He said, we need to go out and see the world. See Sri Lanka, understand our people, because we spend less time to do that. But we spend more time to understand what happens in India or in other countries. And we say, what kind of a bad country that we are in, man? I should migrate. They are no good for us. Instead, no, we have a great history. Our capabilities are immense. We have a natural DNAs that enhance engineering capabilities, out-of-the-box thinking, everything is there. So as a HR leader or a guardians of talents, I will help my team to get to their potential and ensure they won't go 6 feet down without doing anything to the society or to himself. It's our responsibility. Having said that, we need to sustain. So to do that, guys, we can't do anything unless we start cooperate or unless we collaborate with our people and start co-creating. Because business and HR leaders can no longer continue to operate according to our old paradigms. We must embrace shifts in mindset and create an emotional investment to build natural skills that are required to lead, motivate, and engage the 21st century workforce. I want you all to think there is no absolute answer for this. The problems that will come our way, it's not known. That's the uncertainty. But we need to understand that we can do something. We can. When you put that into your mindset and start doing bit of research, bit of study, before knowledge advancement, we can help our employees, our organization to strive excellence, and those people to be sustained working, not getting ambushed by the technology. So use experiential learning as an opportunity to explore and deepen our understanding and to recognize and realize the importance of our people's potential. I will leave you with this quote. Again, revolution, evolution, this thing. So we have this guy. Yeah. This is a famous quote. It's still valid. It's not the strongest species that survived, not the most intelligent, but the most responsive to change. We have heard these quotes many a days, but now it's time to inject those words into our DNA. And when you go back to work on Monday or Friday, you create that culture. You start working with your team like you have a huge tsunami coming at your way. I am the guardian of talent, so I will protect my team and protect my company without being struck. So because this guy will be in our evolution very soon. So with that note, thank you very much and have a pleasant rest of the evening.